Welcome to our how-to guide to benefits reconciliation with Tabulera. If you're like most employers, plan sponsors, or anyone needing to reconcile an insurance carrier invoice with your payroll platform, using a spreadsheet can be a challenging and time-consuming task, especially when your company scales. Let's walk through a step-by-step process that starts with uploading the source data files, then reconcile an insurance carrier invoice, and look at our reconciliation reports. Our homepage dashboard shows statistical information on the left and financial information on the right, with our navigation bar along the top. The two main menu items we will use are the Sources and Benefits Reconciliation links. Let's click on the Sources link. At the top of the page, you'll notice a Date ribbon for your coverage periods, and along the left navigation menu, we have the 4 data sources we need to load to complete a reconciliation. These data sources include your enrollment, payroll, COBRA, and your carrier invoice data. The 4 data sources are easily uploaded manually. Let's kick off the data upload process by focusing on the enrollment file. Click on the Re-Upload button and select the enrollment report file from your local computer. It's crucial to ensure the file is accurate and reflects the most up-to-date information for the respective period. After managing the enrollment data, navigate to the Payroll menu. Click on Add File to upload the payroll report specifically for January 2024 from your local computer. Once this upload is complete, proceed to the subsequent month, February 2024, and repeat the same procedure. Verify that each payroll report aligns seamlessly with its corresponding month. Next, we will upload 2 invoices, one for January and another for February 2024. Locate the Daily Planet UHC invoice and click on the Upload button next to it. Then, locate the respective invoice in your local file system, downloaded previously from the insurance carrier website, and click Open. Observe the status of the invoice changing to Processing, soon transitioning to Completed, indicating the successful upload. Repeat this process for the February 2024 invoice. Next, click on the Benefits Recon link to enter the Benefits Reconciliation Module. Since the invoices have just been updated, we have to click the Regenerate Reconciliation button next to the invoice name. We can now start the reconciliation process. In this demo example, we will reconcile payroll deductions and employer contributions to your carrier invoice to look at any variances between these data sources and ensure we understand why the variances exist, add any adjustments or notes to complete the reconciliation. A dashboard at the top of the page summarizes progress on your current month's reconciliations. The panel below displays a list of invoices, with columns indicating the invoiced amount for carrier premiums and another column reflecting the payroll amount, including employer contributions for the month. Additional columns indicate instances where you may have over-collected from certain employees compared to the invoice, as well as a column designating under-collected amounts from employees compared to the invoice. These columns usually represent timing differences for new hires and terminations. We also show the cumulative amount for each invoice variance over time in the Plan Balance column. Let's click on the Daily Planet UHC invoice line to look at the invoice line item details. On the Details page, you'll see columns for employee name, plan type, carrier plan name, the invoice amount, payroll amount, and columns for resolution adjustments, resolution reason, and a variance column for the month, and a variance column for the plan to date. You'll notice that one resolution adjustment for rounding has already been made for our employee Clark Kent. If you click on his line item, you will see a panel for Clark Kent with detailed demographic data that pops out from the right, along with a history of transactions, including payroll deductions, employer contributions, and carrier invoices, as well as a running plan balance for each month. The plan balance is expected to be 0 every month, calculated as the sum of payroll deductions and employer contributions minus carrier invoices. When invoices and payroll are uploaded each month, the system automatically assigns a variance reason. These reasons are helpful in categorizing possible variance causes, such as rounding, timing, or configuration issues. If no variance exists for an employee between the premium amount on the carrier invoice and monthly payroll deduction and employer contribution, the system will automatically mark the employee line items as auto-resolved for the month. As you can see in the Plan Balance view, The rounding adjustment has been generated by the system for Clark Kent based on the company rounding rules configured during implementation. Most transactions can be auto-resolved by the system, but manual adjustments may be necessary in certain cases. Let's examine a few of these cases. Click on the Filter funnel at the top of the status column to filter for only those transactions that are unresolved. You'll notice 4 transactions marked with a red dot and a status of unresolved. Let's click on the first employee in the list, Jimmy Olsen. You'll notice that he appears to be a new hire, having been onboarded on November 1st, 2023. If we take a closer look at his coverage start date in the detailed view, it began on December 1st, 2023. The carrier is billing Daily Planet for coverage retroactively for a month, as indicated by the doubled premiums billed in January. Since January 2024 is the first time Daily Planet has been reconciled on the system, we'll click on Add Manual Adjustment and create a beginning balance to Jimmy's plan balance in the amount of $374.82. Since we don't have any payroll deduction transaction history prior to January 2024 for the Daily Planet, this lets the system know that this is a reconciling entry for January, and the balance is recorded in both the carrier and your systems. You'll now notice that as the entry is made, the employee's plan balance becomes 0 to correctly show the running balance for Jimmy's medical plan, and that the item has been marked as resolved. The resolution adjustment and resolution reason columns are also updated, along with the over and under collected amounts and item resolved counts at the top of the page. We'll click on the next employee with a red dot and a status of unresolved, Lois Lane. By examining Lois's details page, it appears she was hired in the last half of January 2024 and only had 1 payroll deduction for medical insurance premiums. We'll click on Add Manual Adjustments under the Plan Balance view. Use the January coverage period, select the write-off reason, and enter $35.32 to record the write-off per the company policy. This once again shows the employee with a balance of 0 and the item with a manual resolved status. The resolution amount, resolution reason column information, and top-of-page metrics have also been updated to reflect your progress. Next, we'll click on Perry White, as he was an unresolved status as well. Perry is also a new hire with a payroll deduction amount, but hasn't yet shown up on the carrier invoice. The system has automatically marked him in this status as Enroll in Transit. You can validate his hire date and details, but also notice, since the February invoices have already been uploaded, that the carrier has retroactively billed for January. We'll click on Manually Resolved for January with no manual adjustments necessary, as we see his plan balance is 0 by February 2024. Finally, we'll click on Steve Lombard, as his status is also unresolved, with a variance reason as Term in Transit. Steve looks to be a late December termination, and we in fact see that in February, the carrier has provided the credit to refund the January premium, showing Steve as a 0 plan balance. We can mark Steve as manually resolved. At the top of the page, the over-collected, under-collected beginning and resolved amounts and beginning and resolved item counts equal each other, indicating we have completed the reconciliation of the Daily Planet's UHC January invoice. Click on the Report button at the top of the page and click on Monthly Report item to download a report listing the reconciliation details. The report shows the total amount of the carrier invoices and any manual adjustments made to balance to the invoice. This reconciliation report should be provided to your accounting department in case these manual adjustment entries, as well as provide details of in-transit items that may be required by your accounting department for entry into your company's general ledger. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Tabulera's benefits reconciliation process. We've demonstrated how our platform simplifies the intricate task of reconciling insurance carrier invoices with payroll data. The efficiency gains and accuracy achieved through our system are invaluable as your company scales. If you're eager to experience the benefits firsthand, we invite you to participate in a live demo. Simply visit our website at tabulera.com and submit a form to schedule your demonstration. See how Tabulera can revolutionize your benefits reconciliation workflow, making it more efficient and error-free.